So this will be my first question. You're trained as a medical doctor, right?
Yes.
But your work now is not only about medicine,
Exactly.
right? So what first drew you into that, combining health and lifestyle?
So first of all, I say hello and thank you for everyone for joining and watching. So about that question, I never actually wanted to be just a traditional doctor, like waking up, going to hospital, coming back home. This is beautiful and important, but that wasn't something that I wanted or I dreamed of. I always like there was something more inside me, and I wanted to like combine things, be creative, and like explore the world more. So that was the reason, like for years, from beginning of starting my medical journey, like as a medical student in Iran, and like later when I started like studying MBA as well, like I was always like trying to figure out how I want to navigate my work. So like all this 7 years of studying, and then I moved to Turkey, and like all this time I was thinking like how I can bring value to this world and also enjoy like the process myself as well, because I love helping people, but at the same time I wanted to build something that I enjoy, that is creative, and at the same time can bring like help and value to this world. So yeah, just like day by day, just figuring out what I can do, and social media also like works a lot. Like all the people I met along the journey, everything like it's like I build it like step by step, really. But I had no idea it would look like this in like in the moment that I, as an 18 years old girl, I started my medical journey. Like I never had this idea, but like if you're open and curious about the world and about like living your values, so you will find your answer, I think, at the end.
All right, it's very interesting and very beautiful that you combine what you really like and about helping people as well. But you mentioned too, right, that at the beginning you don't see it growing as big as now, growing as where you are right now. So can you share us how it looks like at the beginning? What is like the dominant feeling?
Uncertainty, I can say. Like the biggest word that I was facing, I don't like it just about like educational system. Like in my country, it's like that. In your 18s or even like earlier, you have to pick the journey that you're gonna like live forever, kinda. So like as an 18 years old girl, you might not have so much idea. You might just like fascinated about the status and like, you know, the stability that a certain amount, like certain kind of job that can give you. And it's like a hard decision at that moment that you have no experience of living the world, have no idea what it's gonna look like, and they just want you to choose, you know, and depends on your scores and like your talent or how you perform in one exam. You have to go through like the journey that you don't know how much like longer. So for me, it was full of uncertainty and full of challenges. I was like, I felt like limited. I felt like I wouldn't be able to live the things that I want, like in a creative way, because I had this belief that I'm gonna be like a traditional doctor, and that moment, none of this was like in my mind or possible. And so it wasn't like a very pleasant starting point for me. Like I didn't like to be a traditional medical doctor living in Iran. So like it was full of uncertainty, full of fear and kind of disappointment. Yeah, for me, it like at the beginning it was like that. The feelings was like this.
I see. And so from the moment of uncertainty to now liberating, what is the shift? What happened back then to?
So I have this, like, I'm so stubborn of getting what I want, and I know like maybe not knowing the specific goal at the end or the result, but I know like what are my values. I always knew, like I knew that the kind of job that I want to do, be willing to do every day, should be creative, shouldn't be like boring for me, should be something like in movement. So that was the thing that I was always like curious and looking for in everything, like every job that I go, every people that I talk to. So as I said, like if you're curious enough, if you put the work, if you you need to be resilient at the same time and strong. Like don't give up, and like time by time, like uncertainty can become like the journey could be like more clear one step at the time. You never can see, like still for me, I don't know like 5 years later how my career would look like, but I know what would be the next right step for me. So if every step that you're taking, you just like focus on the next right one, you can see like you will progress moment by moment, day by day, year by year, and at the end, like you will look like 10 years later, and it's just it combines all the values that you once dreamed of.
Yes, that's very beautiful. And you mentioned that you grew up in Iran, right?
Yeah.
And how was it back then? How does growing up in Iran shape your perspective of the world?
First of all, like before I answer this question, I wanted to like send so much love to my people. Like as you know, my country is going through like so many hard moments at the moment, like now in 2026, and sending so much love to the brave people in Iran, and like they're so strong, they're so resilient, and like every day I'm trying to like do my work and like be at my best, but at the same time my heart and just like my thought is completely with my people and my family. They're still there. So growing up in Iran, first of all, like I proud that I'm a Persian, and I lived in Iran, and I was born and raised there. But it's so challenging at the same time. Like I can say, like especially being a woman in the whole Middle East, not just Iran. It's just hard, and it's just different from other part of the world. I know like there is like women movements in all over the world, and just like everyone are trying to speak up more and stuff. But like being like women in Middle East, like for years and years, because of the religion, because of the traditional way of like behaving, I can say it's hard. And it can be it can bring so many limitation, which I understand completely. But like growing up in Iran, I can answer that question in two ways, because there are depends on your experience. Really depends on the family you born in, the city that you grow up, the environment that you are like at that moment. So people can have like a very different experience of growing up in Iran, because like despite of what the news is trying to show from us, like there are so many open-minded people in my country, and I was lucky to like be born in one of these families and one of these cities. But at the same time, there are so many like close traditional religious cities and like environment and families in my country as well. And women that they born on that kind of countries, they face so many limitations. And like it just broke my heart sometimes. Like in Iran, I lived in different cities, and I could see like how different can be. Girls from different city, they were born and raised, and just like when I talk to them, and like their mindset and their vision of the world, their dreams even, the way they see the worthiness inside them, it's really, really depends on the family they grew up, like the way they've been treated and the way their mother been treated and like their grandmother be treated. So it's a really generational thing. For me, growing up in Iran, I'm so grateful and I'm so lucky that I grew up in a family that they were so open-minded, and they weren't religious, they weren't traditional. And my dad always wanted to me be like a man, you know. It's just like be strong, like, you know. He always tried to not just see me as a like girl, like a woman, or like, you know, it's just he doesn't want me to navigate this life like that. But there are so many limitations in my country as well, as you know, like our politics and like our religious is combined, and that can bring so many limitation, as like we need to wear hijab, like so many stuff that is like so normal for people all over the world. It's just like limited and illegal in my country. um, and that can shape your beliefs, that can shape your behavior. You might not even consider so many opportunities for yourself, and like really can affect the way that you see the world, and you cannot even dream of something that someone in other countries like it's just so normal for them. But by time and like by social media, people like get more aware of what is exactly happening in all over the world. And I'm so happy that especially women in my country, they speak up for themselves and they stood up and they are just so strong and brave, and I'm so proud of them, of all this journey that they had all these years. Yeah, but I can say it's so different, and it's definitely hard, but it can make you stronger and more resilient. So I chose to see me being born and raised in Iran as an opportunity to be stronger and more resilient. So maybe I can navigate a hardship in life better than someone else like was grew up like in other part of the world. But at the same time, it can also like traumatize you in so many different ways. But at the end, it's our responsibility to deal with our stuff.
Yes, that's very beautiful. And yeah, I can imagine with all the limitations surrounding you to have a different mindset, but you don't grow up that way. So what make you choose the other, like look the other way, not look the other way, like choose to see the positive?
Yeah, I'm just like, that my whole life is just like a movie.
I can imagine. Because there is also this famous book called Persepolis, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it shows all the limitations. They don't in the story. They don't. You cannot even hang posters, right? Like pen posters.
I can say like now it's getting so much open in Iran, like especially after like 3 years ago, it was like a movement of women life freedom about the hijab and like everything, like the problems that we had with the government and stuff. I can say from afterward, like everything just like people get braver, and like they like even in our streets now you can see so many people, so many women, they're not wearing hijab and they're just like, that's it, like take it or leave it, just like I love that. I wish I was like that brave to stay and to fight. But I decided to leave because I didn't want to deal more with these challenges in my country in my 20s. I wanted to build something that could be able to help people in the other way. Like I chose a different battle, I can say. But I mean, like it shapes so much. Like I don't know, like how you want me to in which ways, like work wise or like personality wise, or like the perspective that I have around people and the world. Like it's all coming from all the experiences I had. Like till my 26, I was living in Iran, so I completely born and raised there. But at the same time, because as I said, like I was so stubborn of leaving the things, living my values and living the way that I want. So that led me to see the world not just from the lens of a woman or a girl in Iran, and see everything like international perspective. So I started reading the books, I started like watching podcasts, seeing how people are living in different side of the world and what are the possibilities for me. So that really can help when you see other people, how they are living their dreams. And when you see like something close to what you want, you will like there is like a light in you inside your head, like if these people can live this life, why I can't, you know. And then you definitely will have some answers, because I'm a girl or like a woman from Iran, because I have this challenges, because I have these limitations, because I had this. I born in this family, for example. So, but I always ask myself, like, is it the whole truth? I know it's true, but is it the whole truth? Is it the whole reality? You really cannot live the dream that you want? Or is it like 100% impossible, or there is still some amount of possibility? So, and then I see, like, it can help me to be more positive of even the limitation I have. I'm like, okay, I have this limitation, and then what? You know, it's just like, I don't want to give up, because like I have so much, maybe like much more limitation than other people. But it's still like, it's hard. I can say, I never can say like it's easy. And I can't ever lecture for people that they are currently living in Iran to just be brave, do these things, see the positive, see the possibility, because like you have no idea like how many, all the daily stuff can be challenging in my country, and there's so much instability, and there's so much of everything. Like, your life is full of uncertainty already. So for any kind of personal growth or development, or seeing the possibility in the future, you at least need to have like some amount of stability, you know. It's like, you know, you need to be safe, you need to have like primary stuff, and then you think about the next step, the next step, and the growth at the end. So, but I think if there is some part of desire inside you to live a different life, and you see something that you want, so it means there is something inside you that can see you can have that, you can have that life. So if you're curious and open enough and put the work, I think you can get it in some point, hopefully.
Yes. So staying curious, and look. So, but you mentioned you asked yourself, like, is this the whole truth? May I know how many times did you ask yourself that until you get the answer that satisfy you?
It really depends. I can say it really depends on the challenge you're facing and the situation that you're in. I always ask this question about even like small decision in my life. Whenever I use the word but, like I said, is it really true? Are you sure? Just like I try to challenge myself, because like I work for a long time on limiting beliefs. Like the second book I wrote is just like mostly about the limiting beliefs. So for being able to putting all this information all together, I really had to practice it every day with myself. And because like I need to like implement that beliefs and like that practices inside me to be able to like write it and put it on the word and tell people to do that. So I always ask myself, like, is it true? And I might come up with some of the answers. It really depends on how that limiting belief is strong inside you, or how hard that problem that you have and it's your reality is really a problem. So maybe for making some decision, like I want to travel the world, or I want to start an online business, or I want to be a traveler or stuff, like it's a big decision, like changing the life that you're living, and like you know, like putting everything that you already lived like behind, and just like go through the full of uncertainty. You might need so many reflection time with yourself. You might need ask this question in every so first you ask yourself, like, is it whole truth? Is it 100% like true? Are you sure like this is it? So you might come up with some answers. Like all these answers, you need to ask yourself again, is it the whole truth? Is it true? Like you need to ask again and again and again from each sentence that you are using for that kind of reflection, till you get to this point that no, it's not true. Because most of the time, I'm not saying like always, but most of the time, the problems that we have, or till it's on the paper, till we are like seeing the whole vision of that truth. It's our brain like see that as a very big like challenge or like very big threat. So we need to be aware of that. Most of the problem that we have or the challenges that we are facing, uh, our brain is just our mind is just taking that as bigger as it really is. And we mostly can find some solution for that.
May I know, like, is there any specific thing happen until you learn to ask yourself that question? Or like, who taught you that?
Okay. Um, so it's coming completely from my personal journey. Uh, I I faced like because I wasn't able. I thought, and I'm not able to live the life I want. As I told you, like I really maybe like the way that I started, like being a medical student, like being a top graded and everything, it was so many people's dream in my country, but it wasn't my dream. And I understand living like the way that it's not your dream can really help, like hurt your mental health. I had like years of depression because of that, because I could feel like I'm not completely alive. I couldn't feel the joy. I couldn't feel like I am living. I choose this life. I felt like the life that I was living was chosen for me. And I think like I felt like there is no soul inside me, because like I cannot live the life I want. There was so much inside me that I wanted to just live and explore and just like this free stuff. I wanted freedom so bad, like in all area of my life. So that led me to some point that I was suffering from depression, and I had to do something about that. And I was a medical student, so I was into this educational environment, and I was so interested in neuroscience and psychology, and like understanding human behavior, understanding our mind, understanding our like how we can protect our mental health in a good way, how we can protect our brain, and how we can like have a fulfilling life at the end. All the stuff that we do for our health, either physical or mental, it's for the point that you have a healthy mind and body to be able to navigate the life as yours. So at the end, the goal is like the fulfillment and feeling of happiness and like well-being. It's never is only about like your physical health or like being a healthy person or just like navigating mental health as like I want to heal my traumas. No, at the end, you need to combine all of this stuff in a way to be able to live a healthy life, live a fulfilling life, a meaningful life, to be able to enjoy life at the same time serve other people and help other people. So I understand some point in my life I need to survive from this depression. So I did everything I could. Like I went 2 years of therapy. I took also medication. I had to change my whole lifestyle. I had to question all the negative thoughts that I had, because like some part of like your healing journey is like changing the way you live. Some part of it is changing the way you think. So that's why like CBT therapies like can really help. ACT kind of therapy can really help. I'm so interested in like all the psychology and like humans behavior and mind. And that became actually like a big part of my work as well. Like I had this holistic approach to helping people, and I use that like every day if I work with people, because I don't believe like if I tell someone to take this supplements or like you need to change your diet like this, they would be healthy at the end. I see health and wellness like from completely different approach. And I had to experience all of this stuff myself to be able to get to that point. So I learned it in a very hard way. But I'm grateful for that. Like I had to change everything in my life. I had to like change my environment, change the people I'm like hanging out with, change the books I'm reading, change the way I'm living, change the relationship I had with my people around. So I think it's like these beliefs and this interest that I had, it came from a pain in my personal journey, which I think like most of the people that they like they bring the something into the world is somehow coming from the personal pain. So you want to heal yourself, and at the end, like you go through this journey time by time, and if you navigate it well and just like keep up with that, at the end you will heal yourself and hopefully like help other people to heal as well.
Yes, I really agree. I mean, I can say that all of us here want to navigate our own life, right?
Yeah.
But you said you were in a depressive moment.
Yeah.
Like, what narrative you give to yourself to get out of that state?
Ooh. It's not like as simple as I can say like there is one narrative that I told
Yes.
myself. But I can say like very strong sentence, especially for people that like they're so disappointed or like having a very major depression. At some point, I had to be like so honest with myself and so direct. I was like, either you take your life or you figure it out what you want to do. Like I was like, you want to leave? Just like, I understand I cannot like take my life. So I was like, okay, so you want to continue this way? I was like, I don't think so. It's just like so hard to continue this way. So I was like, okay, what do you want to do now? So I had to like figure it out like a way, you know. I had no other choice. But it was for me like two ways, because like I had like a very strong depression. I was like, either like you're not gonna leave or you're gonna enjoy your life, or like find a way to have a better life. So I just start like searching. I start like getting help, and I think it's so important. Like we cannot figure it out everything ourselves. We need to like ask for help from professionals. To be honest, like I'm really into that. Like from people that are educated, people that they know what they're doing, and time by time, you will educate yourself. You will learn, and you will ask for help. You will get help, and yeah, just like a hard pathway, but I can say like it's worth taking the actions. Otherwise, like we're just like living here for one life. The more time you lose, the later you start enjoying your life, you know. And I saw so many people. You asked me what like kind of what can be the cost living in my country. It's for me so heartbreaking that I see so many of my friends or the people I've been friends before, or people I just like met along the journey, but while I was in Iran, like they're kind of depressed because of so much like uncertainty and hard life. They cannot imagine a better life for themselves, or sometimes the limitation is so hard that imagining a different kind of life is just so hard for them, which is understandable. I completely understand. So it's really breaking my heart that I see so many potential people, like people that I met, like my friends and everyone's just like so smart. Like I've been surrounded by so many smart people, like educated, like good people, good hearted. But it's just like, you know, it's just the feeling that you cannot get out, you cannot live the life. You're just so disappointed. You cannot even see the possibilities. This is the thing that can make you depressed. This is the thing that can get the joy of life and like the hope. And if there is no hope, like what we are, like we cannot continue. It's like a dead person living their life every day.
Yes, yes, because I can imagine like the hardest part to get out of depression is the action, because sometimes
Yeah.
depression like it numbs you.
Yeah.
You don't want to do anything, right?
That's
So
true.
I was wondering like what narrative, and yeah,
It's all about action, to be honest. Like in
yes.
everything in your life, the type of therapy that really can help people like to take action is ACT therapy, like acceptance, commitment, and taking the action. It's just at first it's it really depends like on the level of depression you have. If it's major depression, I'm a big fan of like taking medication as well, at least for a certain amount of time. Of course, with a consultation with a psychiatrist and your psychologist. Um, but I mean, the things that can get you out of this episodes and this beliefs is by taking action. When you take action, you can build self trust. When you trust yourself more, you can, like, you have this tendency to take more action. So, step by step, it's like building a trust with yourself by taking the action. So, when the hard challenges come next time, you trust yourself enough to be able to deal with that problems. So, this way, a problem or a challenge in your life doesn't just like kill you, you know, just like you're like, okay, it's hard, I know, but I got this. I've been through it and I could deal with that. You know, I see myself, I can deal with it. And like time by time, the more challenges you face, the more action you take, the better trust and the better relationship that you will build with yourself. Because the most important relationship that we have is just with ourselves, and then with the outside world. And when you could be able to navigate this relationship in a good way, you could be able to enjoy your life better and build the relationship with other people as well.
I see. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
And
you.
I completely agree. But yeah, do you have any advice from coming from a neuroscience? So, do you have any advice for the audience here who are like struggling with limiting belief? So, what would you advise them?
I really encourage people to dedicate some times being with themselves, because the outside world now is just so noisy with the social media, AI, with the crazy world that we are now in, which is so understandable. Like, I'm also like sometimes catch myself like following the news, what is happening, like this is a war, what will happen with the human and stuff like. So we are living in a world that is just so noisy, and we need to put the time, just some solitude time with ourselves. This is so important, to be far from all the outside world noises and every narrative that is just like society or the family or the environment is telling us to believe. So we have to have this courage to ask and question all the beliefs we have, and like asking, like simply, like, is it really true? Is it this narrative that is coming from the society or the school or the family or like from my friends? Is it really true? Can I find a belief or a story that is against this belief? So you will start like looking for proofs of, oh my God, this belief is not completely true. And like when you get to this understanding, when you just like put the time with yourself in a quiet moments, and I really encourage people to write down their beliefs, write down their thoughts, and put this time with themselves. And I know it's like sometimes so scary to question the beliefs or the thoughts you have, because sometimes people combine their beliefs and the way they raise and the narratives they repeat with themselves with their identity, which is like if some kind of belief is just so attached to your identity, it's really hard to unlearn that. So you need to understand, like, if you get to this point that like a belief is kind of a limiting belief, is not, and it's not helping you to navigate your life. It's not about, there's nothing wrong with your identity. You always can change the beliefs, and even like your identity, like you can always like make a better person of yourself, and just be open to that, be curious, put the work, and like be open to change. Be open-minded to see the world not just from one lens. Put the time to know people, know the world, hearing their stories. Sometimes some stories, when you hear from people and when you are like just listening to them, you're like, huh, yeah, like I think this belief that I had for years, it's just like there is a proof that it's not completely true. So it's really about like being so open and not define everything as like a true. There is no completely truths in this world.
Yes, I completely agree. And I just, when you mentioned that, I do realize because I grew up in Indonesia and we also have similar environment. So we believe what we were told, and we are labeled as failure with just one mistakes, and we believe that. So it's really hard to navigate in that, and also to understand that there is another possibility.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what you say is really will really resonate to a lot of Indonesian women as well. So this will be my last question. So if you could go back and talk to your younger self, what would you tell her?
Um, First, I would hug her. I would look into her eyes, and I would tell. I know it's hard, and it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. But at the same time, this journey that you will live, it's full of interesting moments, full of amazing feelings. You will meet so many fascinating people along the journey, and your destination might not be the things that you imagine at this moment, but I just want you to trust the journey, trust yourself, stay open, and enjoy your life, and just don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing, and just don't give up. Yeah, I
Thank
think I
you.
would tell her that.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Kolsa.
so much. Thank you.
Okay, yes, it was a very powerful session with Kolsa. Is there any question from the audience? No? Okay, I think I just want to summarize that yes, everything is possible. There is always new possibilities everywhere. And yeah, just stay curious.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everyone.